Good day, everyone. I'm Divine Grace Arot, a Bachelor of Elementary Education student. For this video, I am going to show you the computation of grades in elementary learning areas. For this activity, I have given 3 tasks. For the first task, A. The following final grades are obtained in a class of grade 5 pupils. So these are the grades obtained by the class of grade 5 pupils, which is 76 is the lowest grade and 92 is the highest grade. For question number 1, using a norm reference grading with a 7-point scale, determine the scores that would get a failing mark. What is your general comment on this? So for the 7-point scale, we have 94 to 100, excellent, 86 to 93, good, 78 to 85, average or fair, 70 to 77, poor or pass, and below 70, fail. So, for my general comment for this, therefore, there's none of the student get the failing mark. For question number 2, using a norm reference grading with an 8-point grading scale, determine the scores that would get a failing mark. How is it compared to the previous grading system used? Again, for question number 2, I am going to use the 8-point grading scale. For the 8-point scale, we have here the 93 to 100, excellent, 85 to 92, good, 77 to 84, average or fair, 70 to 76, poor or pass, 69 and below, fail. The question is, determine the scores that would get a failing mark. Therefore, there's none of the student get the failing mark because 92 is the highest, which is excellent, and 76 is the lowest, which is poor or pass. So, there's none of the student get the failing mark. Then, the other question, how is it compared to the previous grading system used? For the 8-point scale, we call this 8-point scale because of the 8 gaps between of the grades. While the 7-point scale, we call that 7-point scale because it has 7 gaps between the grades. Okay, for letter B, compute the grade of a student in number 1, grade 5 English with the following row scores. Written work, 85 out of 100. Performance task, 65 out of 100. Score in quarterly test, 55 out of 100. To get the grade of the student in English, we use the formula given PS equals learner's total score over highest possible score times 100. PS means percentage scores. Then, WS equals percentage scores times weight of component. WS means weighted score. In every subject, there are different weight of component. Like English, Filipino, AIL Pan, and ESP, they have 30% for written works, 50% for performance task, 20% for quarterly assessment. For science and math, they have 40% in written works, 40% in performance task, 20% for quarterly assessment. And for MAPI, EPP, and TLE, they have 20% in written work, 60% in performance task, and 20% for quarterly assessment. So now let's compute the written work. Then 85 is the learner's total score over 100. 100 is the highest possible score. Then times 100%, which is given in the formula. So 85 divided by 100 times 100% equals 85. Then 85 is the percentage score times 30%, which is given also in the formula of weight of component. English is 30% for the written work. So 85 times 30% equals 25.5. So, in written works, the grade 5 got 25.5. Now, let's proceed to performance task. The performance task is 65 over 100. 65 is the learner's total score over 100, which is the highest possible score, times 100, given also in the formula. So, equals 65. Then, 65 here is the percentage score times 50%. 50% because in English, performance task is 50% component. So, 65 times 100 equals 32.5. So, they got 32.5 for performance task. Then, for quarterly assessment, 55 over 100 because 55 is the learner's total score over 100, which is the highest possible score, times 100%, which is given again in the formula, equals 55. So, 55, which is percentage score times 20%. 20% because in English, the weight of component for quarterly assessment is 20% in here. So, 55 times 20% equals 11. So, they got in quarterly assessment 11. To get the grade of a student, we should add the total here. So, 25.5 plus 32.5 plus 11 equals 69. Then, the transmuted grade of 69 is 80. For number 2, grade 6 student in mathematics with the following row scores. This time, we will going to compute the grade of grade 6 students in mathematics. For written work, 30 out of 50. Performance task, 42 out of 60. And score in quarterly test, 28 out of 40. First, we will going to compute the written work. So, 30 over 50 times 100. 30 is the learner's total score over the highest possible score, which is the 50 times 100 equals 60. So, 60 here became the percentage score times 40. Why 40%? Because in math, they have 40% in written works of weight of component. So, 60 times 40% equals 24. Then, we're going to compute the performance task. In performance task, 42 is the learner's total score over 60, which is the highest possible score, times 100. 100% is given again in the formula, so equals 70. So 70 here became the percentage score times 40%. 40% because in the formula, math have 40% in performance task of weighted of components. So, 70 times 40% equals 28. Then, we will go to compute the quarterly assessment. So, 28 here is the learner's total score over 40, which is the highest possible score, times 100%. 100% is given again in the formula. So, equals 70. Then, 70 here again became the percentage score times 20%. Why 20%? 20% because in math, they have 20% of weight of component in quarterly assessment. So, 70 times 20% equals 14. To get the grade of grade 6 student in mathematics, we will add the row scores in written, performance task, and quarterly assessment. So, 24 plus 28 plus 14 equals 66. Then, the transmuted grade of 66 is 78. Now, we will going to proceed for the task 2. For letter A, the grading system in K-12 is using the front-end equating approach. Assessment scores are immediately converted to 100-point scale. And then, composite marks are averaged and weighted, Kubisin and Burridge 2010. Below are the percentage scores of Ellen Ramsey and Aralyn Panlipunan for the first grading period. Written works included a concept map, essays, news writing, news or article review, and a couple of reaction papers. Performance tasks were comprised of timelines, news reporting, debate, and role play. Complete the table below. So here's the table. Calculate the total row score in each component. Determine the percentage scores. Apply the percentage weight or weighted scores. And calculate her first quarter grade. Now we will go into compute her written work first. So here's the score for highest possible score of Ellen Ramsey. And these are the total score of Ellen Ramsey here below. Then the total of the highest possible score of Ellen Ramsey is 170. But here scores is only 144. I get 144 because I add all her total score, which are the 18, 12, 16, 20, 20, 28, and 30. And the total is 144. Now we will go into compute the PS, which is the percentage scores. So, in the formula, learner's total score over highest possible score times 100. So, 144 is the learner's total score or the score of Ellen Ramsey over 170 because 170 is her highest possible score times 100. So, the answer is 84.70 or 84.7. Now, we will go into compute the weighted score. So, weighted score in the formula is percentage score times weight of component. So 84.7 here, the percentage score times 30. Why 30 or 30%? 30% because the weighted component of Aralyn Panlipunan in written work is 30%. You will see here the 30%, the weight component of Aralyn Panlipunan. So 84.7 times 30, the answer is 25.41. That is for written work. Now we will go into compute the performance task of Ellen Ramsey and Aralyn Panlipunan. So, the highest possible score for Aralyn Panlipunan of Ellen Ramsey is 110. But her score is only 92. I get the 92 because I add the scores of 16, 24, 24, 28. So, the total is 92. Then, to get the PS, I use the formula again. The PS equals learner's total score over highest possible score times 100. So, 92 is the learner's total score over 110, the highest possible score, times 100 equals 83.6. Then, 83.6 times 50 equals 41.8. Now we will go into compute the quarterly assessment of Ellen Ramsey. Then, the highest possible score of Ellen Ramsey in Aralyn Panlipunan quarterly assessment is 50. But, her score is only 30. Then, to compute the PS, so 30, which is the learner's total score, over 50, the highest possible score, times 100, that is given in the formula, equals 60. Then, we will go in to get, again, the WS, the weighted score, so 60 times 20. Why 20? 20 because the weight of component of Aralyn Panlipunan here is 20%. So, 60 times 20% equals 12. Now, to calculate the first quarter grade for the Aralyn Panlipunan of Ellen Ramsey, we will go to add the row scores. 25.41 plus 41.8 plus 12 equals 79.2. Then, the transmuted grade of 79.2 equals 87. So, question. Suppose Ellen's grade in the same subject for the second, third, and fourth quarter are 88, 90, and 92, respectively. Compute her final rating, rounded to the nearest unit, and give its descriptive equivalent. So, for the first quarter, Ellen's got 87, for the second, 88, third, 90, and 92 for fourth. The total is 89. So, Ellen's final rating is 89 and its descriptive rating is passed. Now for letter B. The final numerical and descriptive ratings of Ellen in other learning areas or subjects are given below. Using the results you have obtained above, determine her final average. For the Filipino, 88 passed, English, 88 passed, Mathematics, 84 passed, Science, 89 passed, Araling Palipunan, 89 passed, MAPI, 90 passed, Edukasyon sa Pagpakatao, 90 passed, Edukasyong Pantahanan at Pangkabuhayan, 73 failed, and her general average is 86 passed. And now we will going to proceed for the last task, the task 3. You are provided a table showing a sample card of a grade 6 student named Alden. For the first quarter of the school year 2020-2021, using the discussions of Lesson 8 as your guide, fill up the empty spaces to get the needed data until you will able to compute the quarterly grade at the last column. Okay, for the Filipino, we will going to compute the weight of the Filipino for written works, performance tasks, and quarterly assessment. So, 83 times 30% equals 24.9. 30% because in Filipino, the weight of component is 30%. Then, for the performance task, 81 times 50% equals 40.5. 50% because the Filipino for performance task weight of component is 50%. Then, for the quarterly assessment, 76 times 20% equals 50.2. 20% because the quarterly assessment weight of component of Filipino is 20%. Then, I add the weighted scores, 24.9 plus 40.5 plus 15.2 equals 80.6. Then, the transmuted grade for 80.6 is 87. Then, for English, 80 times 30%, which is the written works, weight of component of English is 80%. 30% rather. Then, 80 times 30 equals 24. Then, 79 times 50% equals 39.5. 50% again because the weight component of English is 50% in performance task. Then, 74 times 20% equals 14.8. 20% again because the weight of component and quarterly assessment of English is 20%. So, 24 plus 39.5 plus 14.8 equals 78.3. Then, the transmuted grade of 78.3 is equals 86. Then, for mathematics, 70 times 40% equals 28. 40% because the weight of component in mathematics in written works is 40%. So, 70 times 40% equals 28. Then, 68 times 40% again for mathematics times 20 equals 27.2. Then, 60 times 20% for quarterly assessment of mathematics in weight of component is 20%. Equals 12. So, 28 plus 27.2 plus 12 equals 67.2. And the transmitted grade for that is 79. Then, for science, 76 times 40 for written works equals 30.4. 79 times 40 for the performance task is 31.6. Then, 65 times 20% equals 13. And the total is 75. And the transmitted grade is 84. Then, for Araling Panlipunan, 80 times 30% equals 24, which is the 30% and written words given in the formula. So, then 83 times 50% equals 41.5. 82 times 20% equals 16.4. And the total for this is 81.9. The transmitted grade for 81.9 is 88. So, in edukasyon sa pagpakatao, 83 times 30% for the written works equals 24.9. Then, 85 times 50% for the performance task equals 42.5. 80 times 20% for the quarterly assessment equals 16. Then, the total is 83.4. Then, the transmitted grade is 89. Then, for edukasyong pangtahanan at pangkabuhayan, 81 times 20% for the written works equals 16.2. 83 times 60% for the performance task equals 49.8. 78 times 20% for the quarterly assessment equals 15.6. And the total is 81.6. The transmitted grade is 88. Now we will going to proceed in MAPI subject. MAPI subject composed of 4 subjects, which are the music, arts, physical education, and health. In the given formula, the weight of component of MAPI and written works have 20%, performance task 60%, quarterly assessment is 20%. So, 77 times 20% equals 15.4. 77 times 60% equals 46.2. 74 times 20% is 14.8. And the total is 76.4. And the transmitted grade for 76.4 is 85. Then, 83 times 20% equals 16.6. Then, 80 times 60% equals 48. 82 times 20% equals 16.4. The total is 81. Then, the transmitted grade for 81 is 88. Then, 79 times 20% equals 15.8. 81 times 60% equals 48.6. 75 times 20% equals 15. The total is 79.4. And the transmitted grade for 79.4 is 87. 83 times 20% equals 16.6. 79 times 60% equals 47.4. 76 times 20% equals 15.2. And the total is 79.2. The transmitted grade for 79.2 is 87. Questions. Number 1. What is Alden composite grade in MAPI? Alden's composite grade in MAPI is 86.75 or 87. How did you find it? I found it by adding the 4 subjects belongs in MAPI, which are the music, arts, physical education, and health. Number 2. In which learning area did Alden perform best during the first quarter? Explain briefly your basis. In first quarter, Alden performed best in edukasyon sa pagpakatao because Alden got the highest grade of 89. Number 3. In which learning areas does Alden need to improve? In learning areas, Alden needs to improve in mathematics because he got the lowest grade in it. Number 4. What does his level of proficiency in Araling Panlipunan signify? In Araling Panlipunan, 89 is the proficient. Number 5. Describe the Alden's overall performance in the first quarter. How would you communicate this to his parents? 86 was the general average of Alden. All I can say to his parents that Alden passed, although he needed to improve for the mathematics.